at you.
Is this on?
Yeah.
Hello? Abby says I should do ASMR.
I do think you should do ASMR. Okay. Today I had my friend Jason here. I feel like with Jason I have to be more serious and more like, this is what I'm doing.
We're not going to be serious.
Well, last time I had here it was Donnie and Clay and fucking Joey Fritz. Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, me and Jason have been friends for years. We're going to have him on because he's got a different type of opinion on things, so that's cool.
I got lots of opinions.
But how old are you?
28.
I was going to say you don't have to answer if you don't want to. How long have we known each other? Since like 2006? When did we start?
10, 17, 18 years?
Are we that old?
Okay, more like 17.
I was going to say, yeah, like,
Yeah.
still, that's a long time.
Yeah, it was like 6th grade.
Now
So
that
you
you
know how
say
we
that-
met? Abby ran up to my locker. I was in 6th grade, middle school, like 11 years old. She ran up to my locker. Her and this other girl, Allie, which many of you probably know. She said, "Our friend thinks you're cute," and she ran away. That's how I met Abby.
So typical middle school shit. You know.
You don't have to post that. That might be embarrassing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. This is what, in my first video I said that I was like, I've done way more and wore way more embarrassing things.
We were
than
11.
Than anything I could put on the internet. No, that's not embarrassing. That's cute. That's adorable. Like, that's what I think. I think that's adorable. But, yeah, I always forget that's how we met. It was what? Christine having a crush on you?
Yep.
But I mean, like,
Hey,
it's
Christina.
weird how things work out like that. I still say you should have kept skateboarding, but that's neither here nor there. But do you remember the first movie that you saw in a theater?
Oh,
Like the first one you have a memory of. It doesn't have to be the first one you saw.
that's a hard one.
That's what everybody says, and then I'm like...
Because you can't remember that unless it was very, very memorable for you as a child.
Like, I remember Elaine got to go see, what was it, Beauty and the Beast at the, like, Fisher Theater or something with someone, and she, like, so that's what she says, like, her first, like, real memory of the movies was. And I was like, well, that's not even, like,
Yeah,
a movie.
I really don't know.
Crazy shit.
I don't have an answer.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Do you have a top, like, 3 or 5 movies that you would say are your go-tos?
Oh yeah, definitely Avatar. I have that on DVD, and for many years I didn't realize that my DVD has scenes that the original cut doesn't have.
Oh, so you have the extended edition of Avatar.
Yeah, there's like an extra 45
I
minutes or
know you
something.
were like
Because
that.
I was lazy one day and I put it on Disney Plus, and I'm like, this isn't right. This is a different movie. There's all this missing stuff because I have the DVD. I've been so used to it for so many years.
No, I'm like that.
Yeah, they're coming out with like 4 more.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's
we're
gonna get
going
crazy.
we're going
You better
underwater.
buckle up,
Yeah,
kids.
Yeah, have you wanted to go to Disney World to see that?
Wait, what?
Oh, you didn't know about Avatar World?
They have Avatar World?
Yeah, no, they redid Animal Kingdom. So now the Tree of Life is...
No.
Yeah, so now the Tree of Life is like...
Wait, Disney World's in Florida?
I don't want to...
Awa,
Yeah, so now they're like, they redo it at night so it glows like that. They have the ride of the Banshee, Yeah, like, I didn't know you didn't know about that. I didn't know that you had this love for Avatar. This was news to me. I knew you liked it.
No, because when you posted something that said, what are your favorite movies? And I said either Avatar or Interstellar.
I knew Interstellar. I don't know why.
So that's another good one,
I don't know why.
Interstellar.
Maybe I thought, I don't know why I would...
I also own that one. I only own movies that I like really, really like.
Because I know that, who else's jam Avatar is just Megan Mullins. She loves Avatar, like that's her shit. Like every time it gets re-released, she's going to the IMAX, that's her thing. And
Yeah, I saw it in theaters in
I'm
3D,
sure it's amazing.
and I sat in the front row.
And that's the way you're supposed, that's a perfect
front
example
row.
of what a movie in a theater experience can be. Like, and that's when people are like, oh no, just download it. I'm like, that's not just something you download.
No,
like
no,
that's something like you
no.
pay the money and you go and you see it the way it's supposed to be seen. Like Christopher Nolan is like that still, and that's why I give him a lot of credit.
And
like,
that movie came out, I was still a teenager.
oh yeah, that came out.
I was like 16, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say it came out what, like our
So
junior year, something like that.
that was, I guess, groundbreaking movie for
Oh no, it
its
was
time.
a huge deal. It was a huge
Very,
thing.
very
And
crazy
and
visuals, effects,
It's great.
all of it.
It's great. But I didn't know that you didn't know that about Disney World.
I did not,
They
so
have a
I'm
whole
booking a
portion-
flight right after this.
They have a whole portion, like right after we went a couple years ago, it was opening, and it's in the Animal Kingdom, and yeah, they have the ride of the Banshee, and I want to say, I might be wrong, but let me know if I'm wrong. I think there's another one, but they're adding more in. It's like Harry Potter World where they keep adding, but yeah, no, they're going all out Avatar, and then
Oh,
at night
man.
the tree is lit up like Ewa, and
That's
it's supposed to
crazy.
be like a big thing.
I
And they
gotta
play
go.
and they play the music, and they do the whole light show, and it's Avatar.
I have to go.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure they have, like, motherfuckers walking around looking like them. Yeah, like, the whole 9, like, yeah. But I think that's only at World, I think. But I could be wrong because it's the same thing with how in California is where they're going to have the Avengers stuff, where they're not
Oh.
going to have that at Disney World yet.
Okay.
Something like that, something along those lines. But yeah, no, they're going, they put all their chips in the Avatar shit at the park, at Animal Kingdom, and it's pretty sweet looking. I was pissed off that we were missing it by a month. I was like, we're missing this opening of this
Oh, you were
ride
there a
by,
month
like,
early?
Yeah, like 1 month early or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one they changed, but yeah, it's like Ride of the Banshee and something else. But I was like, that's really sweet. But you could see where they were changing like the leaves and the decor, and it was like, no, they have the floating mountains. Yeah, they have
Floating
like
mountains.
I don't know. Like, have you ever been to Disney World?
No.
No. Well, we went back when I was an adult, but
I might have gone when I was like very little.
some of
but
the shit they had there, me and Elaine were like, this is like magic. Like at the Magic Kingdom when they did the light show on the castle, it was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And so it's like some type of illusion thing that they've done where it's like, oh no, when you walk in, there are floating mountains and it's the whole nine. Oh yeah, it's like a big thing.
Well, I heard that also an interesting fact is that they like spray the entire place with like pesticides or something
Oh, probably.
to keep the mosquitoes away. Because when you go there,
Oh,
you
I
don't want to
believe
be
that.
eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Oh,
Florida's a swamp.
Yeah,
we all know
no,
it's a swamp.
It is. It's a swamp.
So
it is a swamp.
yeah, give me those chemicals. Keep these bugs away
Probably
from
some
me.
highly illegal shit. But yeah, no.
Yeah,
And
you
now
can't buy it over the
now
counter.
that you're saying that,
Yeah.
I don't remember being bit up at all.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like when you go to casinos, they supposedly
Like pump oxygen.
pump more oxygen
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I thought that was.
And there's no windows, so you have no idea what time of day it is
I
outside.
thought people were just like they do that with hotels in Vegas too. That's why they don't want you to stay in the room. They want you to go out and do shit. That's why they like don't have like anything on the walls and it's a whole thing.
So top 5 movies you said?
Yeah. So
Alright,
like if you're or like
Avatar, Interstellar.
top like 5 3 that your go tos. I like Interstellar. I know a lot of people. I think it's one of the most beautiful movies ever done.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
really do, and I like that. Like, have you watched like Memento and stuff?
Memento, no. I feel
That's
like I should have.
That's like another. I
sounds
think you
really
have,
familiar.
but it's like another Nolan. It's like his first big one, and so you'd like Memento. But yeah, no. And then, do you have any? I have some of these, and they're different because I have 2 siblings. Do you have like go-to movies that you and your sister would watch? Like, say you were both homesick when you were a kid. What did you guys have like your movies that you watched together?
I guess it all depends on what age we were.
Right. No,
right?
like it's weird because like me and Marie for some reason every time we were homesick it was Edward Scissorhands and a couple other ones that like some obscure weird shit though, not like.
Yeah, like when we were really young, like Neverending Story.
That I feel
That's
like
a
there's
huge
2
one.
types of people in this world: Neverending Story people and Labyrinth people.
Oh.
I really do.
Oh.
When you're a kid, I was a Neverending Story kid. So when
Yeah, I don't know what Labyrinth is. I feel like I should, so
Bowie
don't roast
sticking his
me.
junk in kids' faces. Not kids. Never mind. That sounded bad. It is like it's him dancing.
You're getting
around.
flagged. YouTube's gonna
Okay.
flag you.
Okay, I remember when Paige and Jacqueline and Sarah were all like, "Are we gonna watch Labyrinth?" And I was like, "No, what is this David Bowie movie? Cool." And then I'm like, "Why is he wearing tight pants and dancing with his junk around so tightly and throwing a baby around?" It's. I get it, but I feel like there's 2 types of people. Like either you grew up with a Neverending Story or you grew up with Labyrinth. And I'm a Neverending Story person, and that wolf is one of the scariest things to this day to me.
So the horse is Atreyu, right? Or is that the boy's name?
That's Artax. Artax is the boys that betray you.
Okay, I
Yeah,
had that mixed
no,
up.
when Artax dies of depression in the swamps of sadness is one of the
Yeah.
saddest fucking things I've ever seen.
It's pretty sad.
Rewatching it as well, here we
We all
go.
know
Here,
it's
no,
sad.
me and Jason were just talking about the Dark Tower, and you know the Dark Tower's been brought up a lot on this channel, and sitting on turtles and living on turtles and shit like that. Also, another story with a giant turtle in it that it's like the memory of the world, and now is becoming dementia and forgetting things. Another example of a giant turtle being a huge part of the world. Just saying, throwing that out there. But that horse dying, watching it as an adult, I'm like, oh my god. That's so, because it's literally called the Swamps of Sadness, and that's how it gets you. It says, like, if you give up and give in to being sad and give in to your depression, you'll start to sink. But if you stay above it, you'll be okay. And it's like, being an adult sucks. Like, I remember watching that as a kid and being like, oh no, this is so sad, but then it's even sadder as an adult because it's like, no, the horse is giving up. And I'm like, and the boy's not giving up. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, something that gets me as an adult is actually an Interstellar. So,
Oh.
I mean, spoilers. Okay,
No,
I'm
fine.
gonna explain it. The
Interstellar.
ending. You know, he goes and travels in space, and obviously
what
time
we
is
did
different.
with it.
So when he finally gets back to his daughter, she's on her deathbed, dying, and she's whatever 100 or 90, however old she was, and he's still the
That's
same
a lot.
age. She's like 35.
Yeah.
So that pulled on my heartstrings a little bit.
And now,
that
like, how did
that
you-
was sad.
How did you take the end of Interstellar? Did you take it as like it was love that like conquered everything, or like brought him back and all this stuff? Because I thought there was like a really big theme in it. I don't know.
Yeah. So they say like.
That it was like this, like you couldn't explain it. And
Yeah,
like,
'cause
a lot of Nolan
Brand-
shit is like that, but I really liked that a lot. Where it was like you could take it your own way. And I haven't watched Interstellar in a minute, so forgive me. But
Because-
I liked that it was like this one you couldn't explain it all. It was like part of it was just faith and love and stuff. And
Yep.
I really liked that as a theme. I liked that. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, there's another part of it where, you know, they have to pick which planet they want to go to. They don't have enough resources to go to one or so many. So, one of the astronauts, Brand, she wants to go to this one planet where this guy, I think his name was Wolf,
Yep.
and she's in love with him. And she's saying, like,
Yeah.
maybe that's the one thing,
It's
you know,
like the
that
one
the one
factor,
thing that
yeah.
transpires time and
Yeah,
space
yeah.
is love.
And
And
I
I
really
want to
like
go there
that.
because of him.
I really liked
And that ended up being the right planet to go to, right?
And
The other movies,
I think a lot
those
of
planets
people,
were kind of fucked up.
I think a lot of people give Interstellar flack, not flack because it's great, but they're like, oh yeah, well, this and that. There's a lot of theories about it, but I was like, oh, I always just kind of like that. Christopher Nolan can be kind of a downer in some of his stuff. Like some of his stuff can be kind of down, and I felt like that one, even though it is emotional, was kind of like, oh no, love is a good thing.
Yeah.
Like love as a never-ending theme is a good thing, and I liked it a lot.
And there's a quote that Matthew McConaughey says at the end, where he's kind of like sneaking out to go steal one of the planes or whatever you want to call it, mini rocket craft, and he's like, I don't care about where we come from or where we were. I want to know where we are and where we're going. And I like that because you don't want to be stuck living in the past. You want to figure out where you're going.
Thinking about like you don't want to be trapped in anything. You want to be knowing that we're going to keep going and everything's going to be a new thing, you know, like, and that's a good thing.
New adventures, new discoveries.
Yeah, it's okay to worry about, but it's a good thing. And I like that. And like I said, sometimes I feel like Christopher Nolan can be a bit of a downer, and I felt like that one wasn't as emotional and serious as it is. Now let's be less serious. You have a favorite Avenger? Out of any of them?
It's very hard, but I would have to say...
Because I got a couple ideas in my head that you might say, but it's only because Jason's super smart. So I'm like, oh, there's probably a few go-tos for Jason.
I mean, I guess the go-to is Iron Man because
are we going to do Tony Stark?
I'm an engineer and, technology and all that. That's all fun. But then also, mystical stuff like Doctor Strange. That's very interesting stuff. That's really cool stuff.
I feel like Doctor Strange is everybody's... Like, I didn't think I was going to love Doctor Strange, and I love Doctor Strange.
That was a great movie.
Strange. I'm like...
And I'm excited for this new movie, Multiverse of Madness. I want to see some space magic, okay?
Yeah, somebody said I was crazy on Twitter for saying that's the number one to be excited about. I was like, Multiverse of Madness. That's the first one we should all be stoked about, right? Like, that's the top one we should all be...
Who said you're crazy?
I don't know, some random turd.
Oh, Twitter?
Yeah.
I'm not on Twitter.
Twitter's gross. But yeah, no, that was my top one. It was like, out of these five, what should everybody be most excited about?
I mean, after seeing Loki and the ending of Loki, who would not be excited about the Multiverse of Madness?
I don't know if you knew this, and I don't know how many people out there knew this, but the reason Doctor Strange wasn't in WandaVision was because of COVID. He was supposed to show up. Like, he was supposed to.
I think I heard that.
He was supposed to show up. He was supposed to be there.
It would make sense.
It's going to be... I'm real excited for that. But like I said, when Doctor Strange came out, I knew this was a cool character and everything. I don't know, and I've said this a million times, I don't know every little thing about comics, but after watching, I'm like, he's great. He's awesome. I really like him a lot. Like, and I'm really excited for him to show up and get crazy. I really am. But, yeah, I'm really excited for Multiverse of Madness. I think that'll be super fun. I think that because I don't know which one comes out first. That or Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, I've also heard theories out there about how that's tied into the multiverse.
Tobey Maguire's showing up. We know Andrew Garfield.
Is that for sure, though?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, they were on set in their suits and shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like a rumor.
Yeah, no, they're coming. I'm pretty sure, and I think that's the only...
That's wild.
But I also think it's because Spider-Verse did so well.
So this is a way for, the MCU to tie in, all the legacy films.
Oh, yeah.
To just say that they were another parallel universe.
Yes. So that's why...
Same thing as all the X-Men.
Yes.
I mean, we could get on a tangent about all this in X-Men, but I'm saying, they call those X-Men movies the legacy X-Men films, right? So that's a way for MCU to say this existed in another universe.
That's all I want is for Magneto to show up.
Magneto, yeah.
I love Magneto. I do love Magneto a lot, but this is their way of... And that's why when people are freaking out about because we're going to get Blade, and everyone's like, oh,
what's that guy's name, the actor?
Mahershala Ali!
He's great.
I love him.
He's going to be the perfect person for this film.
He can do whatever he wants. I love him. But he's in the third season of True Detective. We were just talking
about okay, yeah, that's a show I have to watch.
He's great in that. But, yeah, I think, because Wesley Snipes has been fighting for Blade to come in for years, and he's, been a part of the comics being wrote for years. So I'm like, there's no way that Kevin Feige, Mr. I Love Comics, would exclude this guy. So I think that we're going to get some kind of either just a cameo or multiverse shit of Blade popping up as Wesley Snipes.
Oh, there's going to be, a bunch of Blades running around.
Yeah, if we're lucky. If we're lucky, we will. I don't know if it'll be an all the time thing, but I definitely think we will get a cameo of Wesley Snipes as Blade.
That'd be cool.
And I'm really excited for that because I think he deserves it too because he really loves that character so much and he's bankrolled that character for a long time. But I love Mahershala Ali. He can do whatever he wants. But I don't know if you caught this in Loki. Mobius says it. He's like, we've had this, we've had vampires, and this is the one that's giving me flack. And it's like...
I kind of remember that,
well, it's a very quick line. It's a very short line. It's meant... unless
it's a little Easter egg they dropped.
Little tiny Easter egg. And we're like, we're going to get Blade. We're going to start getting monsters and vampires and this. And that's really cool to me. So I'm really excited about that. Do you have a favorite villain? Even though out of anything. We won't even stick to the MCU because I feel like a lot of them are
That is not a fair question.
I mean,
You know how hard that
out
is
of
to
anything,
choose?
like, out
Because
of-
villains can be cool.
Yeah.
So-
No, and that's what I was like, because if we do anti-hero villains, like, we could say Loki, we could say this, we could say that, but I'm like, we don't have to stick to the MCU. We could talk about any villain.
Favorite villain of all time?
Or like top 3 that you just
Top
enjoy. I like the
3?
Penguin. I don't think the Penguin gets the credit he deserves.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Dark Knight Joker.
Yeah. Yeah. He's great. I mean,
That was
Of
a
all
phenomenal performance, phenomenal film.
because I was gonna say, you like I said, like Avatar, Interstellar, you like it, and I'm not trying to be a jerk to other people that have been on my channel, but you like actual like movies, so that's also another.
Oh, I watched a
factor
lot of
that
film
comes
and
in.
TV.
So
yeah.
I know the pain of going like, okay, are we just sticking with comic books? Are we going with this, or am I picking like a villain? Like, where are we going with it? And sometimes that's very hard to do, but I still stand by that Heath Ledger's Joker's the best villain.
It's
of all-
great.
He's the best
Like,
villain of all time in anything, right?
He is crazy in that film.
And it was just so well done and so perfectly done, and I saw that opening night at midnight at the IMAX. I've never
Oh yeah,
been, and it wasn't even that, it was, you could hear a pin drop in that theater once the movie started,
really.
but when that truck flipped and did the full 90-degree flip, everyone went fucking crazy.
It's loud too.
And when Commissioner Gordon popped back up after you think he got shot, and he's like, "We got you, you son of a bitch." The whole theater, including like, you know how my sister Elaine is, like, she's kind of like
She's well mannered.
yes,
Yeah.
she stood up and started yelling. People were throwing beers. People were going nuts. People were going crazy when Commissioner,
And that's what it's about. That's what it's all about. Having fun,
Yeah, no,
enjoying it, enjoying it with other
Exactly.
people.
Maybe don't hit the screen of the beer, but other than that,
Yeah.
Oh, Tony Mantua was there. Do you remember Tony Mantua?
Name sounds
Real
familiar.
cute guy, worked at Kroger. He looked like the Joker.
Did
He was
he?
there dressed as the Joker, and so many people.
Really?
So many
Oh,
people
that's
were dressed
great.
up before, and it was so hyped before the movie started that the theater was scrambling to like do a giveaway. But all they had, it was at the Henry Ford. I know not everywhere has the Henry Ford, but it was at Greenville Village. So
Yeah.
people were trying to find like fucking prizes for people, and they were like, "Here's a Thomas Edison mold," and like all this dumb shit. And it was like Tony Mantua was done up perfect as the Joker.
That's great.
And I think he won like I think he got a poster, but it wasn't for the Dark Knight. It was for like, come and see Henry Ford's log cabin next Tuesday. It was some bullshit, but it was really funny and it was really cool. But that was one of the coolest and probably the best thing I ever saw opening night. And it's been a really long time since I've gone to an opening night.
Oh, me too.
I was, yeah. What was the last time you went to a premiere?
When was the last time you went to an actual theater?
Shit.
I saw the last Rambo movie, The Last Stand, I think that was called. Great movie, by the way. You should see it.
Also, it's funny you bring that up because I was thinking this in my head the other day because I rewatch Predator all the time because I have it downloaded and if my service acts up. But anyway, Predator and Rambo, the original, I haven't seen the new one, are essentially about PTSD and about them being like fucked up from the war. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I think a lot of people just forget that. But like, I heard a
Well,
lot of good things about the new Rambo too. And
It's also like that song. I know this should be about film, but that
Oh,
song
right.
by
About
Bruce
anything.
Bruce Springsteen, "Born in the USA."
Oh.
Everyone thinks it's like an American jam, but really it's about going to the war and
Oh, well,
coming back fucked up.
Here, I'll hit you with
And
another one that I wrote a paper on in school, and the teacher was shocked. Is "One" by Metallica. That's about coming back from the war and having.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
I never
about,
knew that.
Read the lyrics. It's about being a veteran and coming back messed up, and how nobody wants you anymore, and nobody cares anymore, and
Wow.
my sight is gone, my eyes are gone. Like I can't, and now nobody will help me, and I went out. They only wanted me essentially out on the battlefield. Now they don't want me here,
Yeah.
and that's also why they used it. If anybody caught on to that for the first season of The Punisher on Netflix. It was cut to "One" by Metallica, and I was like, "Oh, I see you."
Oh.
And what's another one that
People do that all the time, and not
then
everyone picks up on
And
it.
then somebody needed a paper done, and I think Elaine wrote it. I think it was Jacqueline. But this one's more obvious. Was War Pigs by Black Sabbath. That's more kind of more obvious.
Yeah, that's
kind
kinda obvious.
From the title.
I did a very good paper on A Scanner Darkly.
Oh, nice!
I don't know if you guys know that film, but that's a crazy film.
Yeah, I forgot about A Scanner Dark.
So I actually did a paper on that in college, and you know, it was an
Really?
English class that I had to take, you know, for general courses that you have to take. But anyway, my teacher liked it so much, like I was getting invited to seminars and all this other stuff, and I'm like,
It's
oh,
awesome though. No, I forgot about A Scanner
maybe I
Darkly.
should start writing.
And it doesn't get the maybe you should. It doesn't get the credit it deserves. I feel like when it came
Maybe because
out,
it's animated,
Yeah,
but it's weird. It's like
that
half
weird
animated because Keanu Reeves is in it, and
Ewan McGregor.
Winona
Am I
Ryder.
making that up?
Will
Ewan McGregor.
no, he's not in
He's
it.
not in that. It's the other motherfucker. Keep going.
Owen Wilson,
I love Owen Wilson.
isn't he? Isn't that him?
I think I don't. I haven't
Wait,
watched this
hold
Scanner
on.
Darkly in a long time.
That's not Owen Wilson. I think it's Owen Wilson. It's Owen Wilson, Keanu Reeves, and Winona Ryder.
Animation, so in my head I'm like, I'm thinking it's the right person, but then I'm like, is it the right person? I'm like, I can't remember right, but then I'm like,
oh, and Robert Downey Jr.'s in it.
yeah,
yes,
okay, no, we're
yes.
no, that's I didn't know about that. That's awesome.
But yeah, it's hard to remember because it's like half animated, but it really does look like them.
It does that weird
it's great.
filter from Snapchat, but better. It's like
it's like if you're on a bunch of acid and
yes, no,
and it's like rainbow colors
that happened to
and
my friend Ryan, and he sent me and Dylan.
and it is about drugs, like in the future, and
it's wild, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot about identity and
Okay, well, I'm gonna pause this for a moment, and then we're gonna continue. But I totally forgot about a scanner dark. Don't give a shit is like how that works with companies and all them buying things. But they have to scanner darkly. It was Woody Harrelson.
yes, it was not Owen Wilson. We figured it out. It was Woody Harrelson. I don't know why
No,
I
but
thought that.
yeah, no. Well, I totally get why. What I was just thinking outside and didn't bring it up because I wanted to bring it up on camera is, do you want to know what you just reminded me of? Because Jason was explaining time travel to me. Donnie Darko. That was one of our jams, and I just watched
Donnie
it.
Darko.
And you remind me of the.
That's like a nowadays movie I would watch with my sibling.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I just watched it the other day, and you remind me of the teacher that tells him, like, what does he say to him? He's like, I can't continue this conversation, and he's like, but why? And he's like, cause I could lose my job. and that's it. But that Donnie Darko, that's a jam. That's great, and that's
I'm all about time travel and different dimensions, and I was just telling her she needs to watch the OA. She has not seen the OA.
So apparently I need to start the OA. So I'm probably
that's different dimensions, and yeah, that's a good one too.
Especially if it's only 3 seasons.
I mean, it's not a movie, but it's a good show.
Yeah, I'll crank that out. That's on Netflix, so I'll crank that out. Let me know if you've watched the OA in the comments. Here, now you can get to fun stuff. Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
So do you have a favorite characters or characters you hated or anything?
My favorite character was, I mean, maybe this is basic, but it was Daenerys. Like,
oh, really? Not what I expected.
I
No, she's
loved
my character.
watching her, pretty much try to conquer the world.
Are you excited for House of the Dragon?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
House of the Dragon's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be great.
It is. It's gonna be good. I'm excited for it. I know a bunch of news has dropped.
Dragons
about that.
ever. I mean, I haven't looked at any spoilers or
No.
theories about what's going on, so I'm gonna go in blind. But
Well,
I want to see dragons and a bunch of white-haired Targaryens running around, and
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be exciting. It'll be fun. It will be good.
I mean, is
No.
it starting off with Aegon the Conqueror?
No, I thought it was. We are not starting out there. We're starting out right before the Dance of Dragons, which is a civil war between the Targaryens.
Oh, but that's still a
families.
great period to cover.
Oh, no, it is. It's an awesome period to cover. And I'm pretty sure, from what I've read, that they're doubling down on dragons in the first episode.
They better, because they made a bunch of money from Game of Thrones, and they always complained about, well, we couldn't have
That's the same as it might
Ghost in this scene because we had dragons in that one. I'm like,
Yeah, shut up.
yo, we're
'Cause-
paying you.
Right. And here's the thing, too, is like in the books, they are at a point where it's like, no, they're like riding their wolves into battle. Like, that hasn't happened yet, but it's supposed to happen. Like, essentially, that's what is insinuated, is like, no, eventually, like, Rickon and them are going to be riding them into battle. What pisses me off is when companies like HBO, or where I work, say, we don't have the budget for that. Fuck do you mean you don't have the budget for that?
I mean, it does cost money and it takes time.
But I don't believe that you, of all people, don't have the budget.
HBO has a lot of
I'm sorry,
money.
You are not an indie fucking film. You are a huge conglomerate. Like, you have the money. Like, just say...
We know you got
Just
it.
say you didn't do it. Just say you didn't do
But that's why it's easier for, shows and films that are animated to get away with a lot more.
Yes.
Like, I just watched the first episode of What If.
Oh, I liked
the
it.
MCU What If on Disney Plus. And I was just realizing, like, all the action scenes they were doing in that episode, like, they could get away with all of that because it was animated. It's so much easier to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why a lot of people, when they were comparing the end of Game of Thrones to anything, the one thing that they said, they were like, well, how do we do this and how do we do that? Name something else that ended a huge sprawling epic perfectly, and everybody said Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I'm like, yeah, no, and I agree 100%, but animation is... animation. You can
get away with a lot,
with
yeah.
animation. Now, the writing, I'm not taking anything away from Avatar: The Last Airbender because it is great and the writing is great and it's amazing. But when it is animation, there's a lot more you can get away with.
Yeah.
A lot more you can do. Definitely, for sure. Do you have a favorite season of Game of Thrones? I know everybody has qualms with the ending, but
A favorite season?
I really liked the Battle of Winterfell. I liked.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's probably the final season because
I liked the last.
the Battle of Winterfell is like a movie on its own.
I agree with that.
And people are allowed to have their opinions, and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I watched it at night on my big screen TV. I saw it perfectly fine.
And I get like Everybody's gonna have issues and
It was
stuff. But I do
crazy.
feel
It was crazy. Like, did you see the wall of?
It was the dead or the wall coming down, or the wall.
All of
it was sweet because all of it was sweet.
So no, I'm thinking of the scene where the Dothraki ride out with their flaming swords, and you can't see the army of the dead yet because it's so dark. But then once the Dothraki get close enough and their flame lights up, it's just a wall. It's like World War Z.
Yes.
It's like a wall of undead. And then you see them all, and there's giants,
and when they come to
the lights just start flickering out.
I really liked that a lot, and I know people were like, oh yeah, well then they said all the Dothraki.
Yeah, and then when they got to the front lines, they were just like crawling over each other and powering over.
You
like,
can't take anything away from that episode.
Yo.
You really can't. And I get that people had their issues with that, but I'm like, I think that.
And there was dragon fights, like they were up above the clouds in the moonlight. That was cool.
Paintings, like it was like
yes,
beautifully done. It really was.
Like it's something that you feel like you would read out of a book,
exactly.
Right? Like it was detailed enough to feel like you were like reading it.
That's
you know.
why I'm like, when people give it shit, I'm like, you realize this hasn't even been wrote out in a book yet. So for them to do that was amazingly done. I felt personally like it was really cool. I think that what's the season? Is it season 5 with the Walk of Atonement and all that? I felt like that is the season that drags the most. I think that is the season that is the most boring.
There's some filler episodes,
I totally
they got to connect all the stories,
whatever. But I still feel like out of all the seasons, I think that one might be the worst, and that's from a great show. Like that's not. It's still great. It's still a great show. So it's not saying like it's even bad. It's just saying, out of all of them, I think that one is the one that I personally have the most issues with over the final season. I think they could have added one more episode into season 8 and made it okay.
I thought Drogon was gonna die.
Oh, I would.
When the undead got all over him, like I was about to cry.
Oh,
okay. He was
panicking.
whimpering, he was squealing, he was trying to shake them all off and fly away. And he left Daenerys there, and I thought she was gonna die. And I'm like on the edge of my seat, like.
We're also animal lovers, though. We're also like, no, don't do that. No.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about earlier, like when the dragons died, that was sad too. Like I was tearing up.
I skip it.
I was tearing up.
I skip it now.
You know, when Daenerys was flying back to Dragonstone, she's all happy, yada yada yada. She's on Drogon, and Rhaegal's flying next, and all of a sudden this
I didn't like
blood gurgling, squealing,
like,
flying in the ocean.
I thought we'd lose another dragon, but I really didn't want to.
Man, that was sad. That was heartbreaking.
I really didn't. But I'm trying to, because like nobody's a villain in Game of Thrones. Nobody sees himself as a villain. So it's like the only.
Nobody sees themselves as a villain. Yeah.
Like Cersei's a villain.
Yeah, they make Cersei to be a villain, and then
have you read them?
Daenerys is the villain in the end.
Yeah. Well, that's. Yeah.
I mean, you could see it. I mean, Emilia Clarke did a great job,
she's
by
great.
the way.
Oh, she's fantastic.
And you could see it, like, in that scene, when the bells are ringing and she stops for a second, and she's just sitting there covered in black soot, and she's looking at, what do they call it? The Red Keep. She's looking at the Red Keep, and she's like, my family built that.
Yes.
You beheaded Missandei. You got my dragon killed.
That's exactly how I looked at it, because I was like, oh no, she was...
Come on.
Either way, do I think...
They slaughtered babies.
Yeah.
They slaughtered baby Targaryens. They tried slaughtering her. Her and her brother ended up escaping.
Either way down the road, it's like, you could have... Like, I got where she was going.
She's like, fuck you.
But I thought her personally, not the... I think this was just Emilia Clarke. I don't think this was the director or anything. Just right when she looked at the Red Keep, I was like, oh... It's a wrap. It's a wrap. This is, my family built that. This was mine. I fought and fought and fought and fought, and now I'm fucking done, and I don't fucking care. And
she didn't even want it.
Everybody's going down.
She didn't even want it. She didn't care. I mean, yes, she wanted the throne, but she didn't want any of it.
Like, I just thought...
She wanted to let it all burn.
When I really think about, okay, you are literally in a room covered in green, sitting on, not a dragon, just a big hunk of greenness, and you can still act like that? And get that across to the audience, that's hard to do. That's hard to do. Like that's I don't think I'd be able to sit in a blank room and have people go, all right, now act like this. I'd be like, well, I don't really have anything to go off of. So, and this is supposed to be a dragon. I'm sitting on a hunk of nothingness. Like that's hard to do. And then I think she's great. I think she's amazing. Great. I think she's a great actress. I really do.
And when she was in Karth, that merchant she was trying to get ships from, he was just laughing at her. He's like, ha ha ha, little girl, no. And she's like, ugh, I will burn cities to the ground.
Oh, it's great. No, she's great. No, for sure. And then she has. I love her. I think some of my favorite. I honestly, I didn't think you were going to say Dany. I think some of my favorite scene when she gets the Unsullied is one of the best scenes I think
That's great too.
in the entire series is when she gets them and leaves Young Kai with them. I'm trying to just be correct so the Song of Ice and Fire people don't come at me. I think it's Young Kai, right? Or Astapor.
Astapor?
Yeah, one of them. Whichever, I think, whatever. Whoops. But yeah, whenever she leaves there, that's, when she makes her speech and leaves there, that's one of the best scenes in the entire series, I personally think. And then, like I said with villains, my favorite character is Tywin, so...
Oh yeah, we all know that.
Nobody to talk, so...
We all know you like Tywin and Roose Bolton.
No, Roose Bolton in the show is not the best. Roose Bolton in the show is bad, but I think he's attractive. I think that old man is attractive. That's the problem. But in the book, he's much more subdued and much more like, I'm trying to be schemy, but I'm not trying to, and he knows his son's a piece of shit. Because in the books he has kids, but they've all mysteriously died. They've all mysteriously, and he knows. He's like, no, Ramsay's doing it. Ramsay's offing them. He's a piece of shit. Like, I know what he is. Like, in the show, they didn't get that across as much as that he's very knowledgeable of what his son is, and that he's not a good person or normal in any way, shape, or form, that he's a freaking psychopath. So, that's a whole thing.
He's a psycho.
But no, Tywin I love because I just love Tywin, and I think that I really hope they go into his backstory. I really do. Because
I mean, he has one of the greatest quotes of the whole series, right?
Tywin?
Yeah.
I think that he has one of the most...
A lion does not concern himself with the opinions of sheep.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you should live your life by that.
For real. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that, and I think Tywin has the most... I think the coldest, most ruthless scene isn't even somebody dying. It's... I can't remember what beginning episode it is, but it's when he is melting down Ned's sword. And it's before they even roll the intro. And it's just
I remember that.
Ice melting down and then making the two swords. And it's just like, man, that is like the coldest, most ruthless thing. There's no words. It's just him standing there watching them repurpose the sword. And it's like, in the end, it ends up being cool because it's like, oh, Brienne gets one and this and that. But at first, it's like, oh, this is like, fuck the Starks.
Poor
like,
Ned Stark. Those poor Starks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I. That's what I mean.
One of my other favorite scenes also is when Arya offs the entire Frey family.
Great. That's a great scene.
And she finally rips off the mask and says, "What?"
I like it when she tells the wife, she says, "Not for you. Why would I waste time on a woman?"
Yep.
And then she's like, "Yeah."
She saves her. Yep.
And then I really like it because one of the best. It reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean when Jack Sparrow says, "Then where do the stories come from if there were no survivors?" And that's what I thought of with I was like, oh shit. I'm like, no, you're leaving one alive to go run and tell everybody. Like,
yeah, because what'd she say to her? Like, tell them winter came.
Tell them winter came, and...
winter came for House Frey.
Oh yeah, winter. First she says, as Walder Frey, she says, leave one wolf alive and the flock is never safe. And then after she pulls it up, when she turns to her and says, tell them winter came for House Frey. And then she's just, she might say something else, I think she does, and then walks out, and that is a great scene. That's an awesome
Well, I'm also thinking of the scene where she was pretending to be like one of the wives or something, or whatever.
Oh, when Jamie's...
And when she's serving him the pie with his son's cut up in it.
I will tell you where that happens.
When she slits his throat, is what I'm saying, is that the last thing you're going to see is a Stark smiling down at you while you die or something.
Yeah, no, that's a great scene too. In the book, that isn't Arya. I have a sticker for it somewhere where it says Frey Pie Company, and it's sweet.
Oh.
But in the books, it's Lord Manderley, who Lyanna Mormont in the show tells us, she's like, you're a coward. You weren't there for the Starks. You're a coward.
Okay.
He's the king of the North. Yada, yada, yada. He doesn't, because really the Freys have like moved in on his family, and they're essentially forcing marriages on all his daughters and all his granddaughters. And one of his like little granddaughters, who's like 6 or 7, steps up and is like, you're a punk, Grandpa, because you should step up, blah, blah, blah. And then that's like all we kind of get. And then Roose Bolton throws this big party at Winterfell and is like, I'm born in the North, yada, yada, yada. But Lord Manderley's having way too good of a fucking time, and nobody can find a bunch of these Freys. And then it's like insinuated, like, oh no, we've all been eating them at this feast, and it's crazy. But yeah, no, I was just happy that we got the Frey pie in the show, and I was glad that they gave it to Arya, because I thought that was really cool, and it worked, and it was really good. Same thing with people being upset about her killing the Night King. I'm like...
She guessed it, like, years in advance.
It works. The second they said you're going to close Blue Eyes, I was like, oh, you're the Night King. You're going to be the Night King killer. That's what's going to happen. Especially when we didn't do... There's a whole bunch of baby swapping that goes on in the books.
Because did people in Westeros, did they have blue eyes?
They do.
Okay.
But it's like, that's the thing with the books, is eye color and...
because Daenerys had purple eyes.
Yes.
Right.
And any attribute that is discussed more than one time is normally something you should look out for.
Mhm.
Like Oberyn Martell having a widow's peak, and then there's
Foreshadowing,
there's somebody
classic.
at the Citadel dressed as a boy, who I think is dressed as a boy, I don't think they're a boy, that helps Sam out at the Citadel when he gets there, and they keep going, oh, you're Highborn, and he keeps saying he's not, and then it's like, oh, wait, if you flip-flop the name around, it's the name of one of Oberyn's daughters, and they always keep talking about his eyes, and how he has a widow's peak, and how he's Dornish, and they're like, and he keeps saying he's not, but I think, and this hasn't been said yet, that that's really his daughter dressed up like a boy at the Citadel. And so it's like I said, but it's because of the widow's peak, the description of the eyes, so that's a big thing. Same thing with like the Lannisters. The Lannisters have green eyes. All of them have green eyes.
Yeah.
Green. That's a big thing. So when they were like, you're gonna close green eyes, blue eyes, brown eyes, all that, it's like those normally mean somebody
Specific
somewhere.
peoples.
So I'm like, oh, well, the only ones who have, like, the Starks are gray. They always say they have gray eyes. Jon has gray
really?
eyes. Arya has gray eyes. Ned has gray eyes. They always make a point to say gray, not blue, not hazel, but gray. So it's like, not many people are told they have blue eyes. So who could it be? And then it's like, in the books, there's no Night King. Okay, I get that. But thematically, whose eyes is she closing? Okay, well, then it's going to be the Night King, right? It's got to be. And who wouldn't? The assassin's going to. Of course, it's going to be the assassin.
Yeah, but they're still White Walkers.
Oh, yeah.
And they have blue eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's still White Walkers,
Yeah.
there's still blue eyes, it's still a thing. Oh, yeah, that's still all a very big thing.
Yeah.
All right, besides Game of Thrones, what shows are you watching now?
Oh, I'm just rewatching X-Files.
Oh, my God, I was just... Okay,
Great
here's
show.
another one that I'm going to get called out on. Never
Did you
watched-
know, I don't know her name,
I've
but she
never
plays
watched it.
Agent Scully, the woman.
No, I don't know David Duchovny. Flower.
She was only 25 when she started that show. 25.
That's crazy to me, because I know The X-Files is great.
93.
And that is my bestie's favorite. That's Flower's thing. Like, she's a grown adult, and she texts me, I'm going out of town, which one do I take with me? And there were two different action figures, and one was Scully, I think.
But
And
yeah.
I was like, you're really taking a toy with you on vacation? And I was like, okay, we'll take X-Files. She's like, they have names. I was like,
They have
I was
names.
like, I'm sorry. I was like, I know. I was like, but X-Files is one thing that I never watched all the way through, and I need to.
I mean, it came out in 93, so, you know, there was a lot of cheesy stuff back
but
then.
there's
And they came out with, like,
it's still great.
a new season, I think in, like, 2018 or something.
Yeah, didn't they have a movie
Um,
eventually?
I don't remember. I think it
can't
was just, like, another
Oh, was it just like a
another
reboot or
season,
something?
yeah.
All I know is
But
that
they,
it's
like,
very well
intentionally made some of the newer episodes cheesy. To,
Right.
like, poke fun
to
at...
pay homage to it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like Angel and Buffy and stuff.
But yeah,
like
it's all
that.
about, like, you know...
That's
aliens and monsters,
Oh, yeah,
and you know
X-Files
they're
is
in the
great.
FBI and they're hunting down all these things.
Oh,
and
X-Files is great, and there's a reason.
and
why
there's a
it's-
greater story behind it too. It's not just like every episode is
right. No,
a new monster.
it's
Like a
kinda
lot of them are,
like,
but there's like a greater alien story throughout the
it's
whole
kind of like the
series.
Mandalorian, where it's like it's the gunslinger coming into town with his sidekick, and right now we're watching them save this town.
Yeah.
But really,
Yeah, there's like fillers.
There's a bigger story going on behind it. But
Yeah.
it's like we can still enjoy we're gonna help the townsfolk against the Empire today, but then it's like, okay, back to where is Moff Gideon at, and what are we doing here? But it's like, I like that about, and X-Files, there's a reason why people still rewatch it and love it to this day, and it's because it's good. That's why.
And I've been rewatching Westworld.
Dude, Westworld is the best.
I love Westworld.
I was just talking about, I love Westworld. When it comes back, we'll definitely be Zoom chatting about Westworld.
Oh, it's coming back?
Oh yeah. Oh, we are getting a season. Where I got them right. I got
What?
my seasons right here. Yeah. I love Westworld. Oh yeah.
We're getting a season 4.
Yeah. The only one I don't have is season 3 yet.
Well, I guess I made a good decision to rewatch it.
Yeah. No, it's.
I mean, when is it supposed to come out?
I'm assuming the pandemic threw everything back,
Yeah.
but I know it's coming. I know it's definitely coming back. It has to. I thought I really.
I thought they
loved
just
that.
ended it like that.
Oh no, it's coming back. It's definitely coming back for sure. But
I'm pumped.
I've been saying since day one, and we'll get into this more when we talk about Westworld, but I've been saying since day one, I have a problem with anti-heroes, that Ed Harris, the finest old man ever, the man in black, is the hero. Since season 1, I've been like, no, when do we cheer for the cyborg? Never. I'm like, we have to cheer for the human, and he's the only one that's like,
Well, yeah, but...
he's not a good guy. I'm not saying he's a good guy, but like, I love Westworld because it's so different out there, and I don't know if you caught this, but have you seen the movie from the 70s?
No.
It's good, and that's where it came from. Was Michael Crichton, who wrote the book Jaws and wrote Jurassic Park. He wrote all those, but he didn't. There isn't a book for Westworld. He just did the movie. He wrote the movie for it, and it's pretty good. It's the same concept, but just movie from the 70s. And
I'll have to give it a try.
yeah, it's good. It's got Yul Brynner in it, and no, it's good. But there was a shout out to Jurassic Park in that. You remember when they did the little Game of Thrones thing with the dragon in the one season? They're like, well, what are we going to do with it? And they go, oh, well, I remember that guy in Costa Rica, and they make a comment about it.
I kind of remember that.
That's a Easter egg for,
Yeah.
if you know Michael Crichton did all this work, you'd know, like, oh, Costa Rica would be Jurassic Park. So they're like, well, what do we do with it? And they're like, oh, yeah, well, remember the guy, and I can't remember the exact quote because I didn't watch it, but they say, like, well, I guess we can contact that guy in Costa Rica and see if he wants it. And they're like, yeah, blah, 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 when they're getting rid of all the other shit, and it's like, oh, that's a little Easter egg to Jurassic Park, which I think is cool, and I think would be a cool thing to connect it all, would be sweet. But, yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. At my job, on the assembly line, I watch things on my tablet. And I realized very quickly that there are certain things that it's like, oh, you walk by and you see me watching something. It's like, it could be like Game of Thrones if you've never seen it. You still know, like, okay, there's banging going on, but whatever. When you don't know what Westworld is and you walk past somebody and they're watching a show where there's a naked person stuck in a room talking to somebody fully clothed, it looks
that can be pretty awkward.
Strange.
But just think it's an android.
Yeah,
so
like, I realized that very quickly. I was like, oh no, I can only watch Westworld if I'm on
they're
certain
doing like
jobs.
diagnostics on them, yeah.
So I'm like, I remember, did you watch Mindhunter on Netflix?
No.
It's very good. It's really good. It's about how it's based on, like, there's also why I love Silence of the Lambs, because it's kind of they took a lot from the real story of how the term serial killer came up.
Okay.
And that's what Mindhunter's about, and it's really cool, and how, like, that was kind of shunned, and the FBI was like, no, we're not even going to tell people that you guys are researching this weird shit. Take it to the basement. And that's what Mindhunter's about. But I also realized, thank God I was working by somebody that I'm friends with, and I realized watching that, I'm like, I've been watching gruesome, horrible murders for like 2 hours now, and that might make this person across me uncomfortable. I should go tell him. And so I was like, hey, is this bothering you? He was like, I was wondering what you were watching, but no, you're fine. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, it's a show about serial killers. He's like, no, I kind of picked up on that. And I was like, okay, because I didn't want to you to think I was a weirdo. But the Westworld one was funny, because I was like, if you don't know what this is, you're like, what? It's a Western, and now there's robots, and now there's just naked people being stuck in rooms with people. So now when I'm like, I
tried to get my dad to watch it. He's like, Westworld, yeah, cowboys, and then we watched it, and he's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I can only imagine
I'm trying to explain it to him, and he's like, I don't want to watch this shit.
I can only imagine your dad being like, no.
But yeah, Mindhunters, so FBI basement.
Yep.
X-Files, FBI basement.
Yes. Besides, it's kind of like, we aren't about this and don't want people to think that we're even looking into this, so stick them in the basement.
Yeah, that's what the X-Files is.
Yeah,
They stuck Fox Mulder in the basement, and yeah.
And then I'm trying to... Oh, literally, I wrote down smart stuff.
All right, so what about remakes, or let's say sequels from movies that were very old? I'll give you an example. So Blade Runner.
Oh, did you like the new one?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, no,
I loved it.
It is great. It is great. I loved it. No, and I love Blade Runner. Blade Runner, it's funny because that's like Elaine's jam.
So,
it's like her fave.
What are some other good ones that you can think of?
That,
Either a reboot or like a sequel from an older movie.
Or a total remake? Okay.
Either or, yeah.
That's a good one. I'm trying to think. Because I think that, this is kind of a random one, the remake of Cape Fear is better than the original. But
I don't know
that's a great movie. You should watch it. It's creepy. It's about stalking a family and shit. A full remake. I'm trying to think of one. Because like we were saying, like Westworld being a movie, but now as a show, I think the show is better.
Okay, I'll tell you one that I'm excited about, and it's not very old. Like it's not movies from the 70s or 80s, but it was like the late 90s and early 2000s. The new Matrix.
They're coming out. Remake?
No, it's not a remake. It's like The Matrix 4.
Yeah. The sequel to it? Yeah, no. See, and I have to admit that I have not watched the Matrix trilogy all the way through, which is like sacrilegious to say, so I need to watch them all. But
yeah, that's probably going to be pretty sweet.
No, people are excited about that.
You know, bringing that back to life.
And I'm trying to think, like...
But you know, like Blade Runner is one of them, because they didn't remake Blade Runner, they just made a sequel to it.
They continued it on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what would I be super stoked
It's a hard
about?
question.
No, that is a hard question, because I'm really trying to think, like, what, besides, like, I'm thinking, like, super old, and now I'm like, oh.
Well, yeah, because, you know, they've always had, like, new, like, Alien and Predator movies along the way.
Oh, I'm upset about the Predator series, but that's all. Did you ever see the one where they are, with Adrian Brody, where they're all dropped on a planet for hunting? Essentially,
Isn't all Predator movie that?
Well, yes, but this one, I don't know why
I love Predator.
I don't know why they didn't continue with this, because it was a really cool concept, and apparently it's in the comic books, and it's the Predators go around to different planets, snatch up whatever species, and they put them on essentially a game preserve.
Yeah.
For practice.
Yeah.
And there's one with Adrian Brody, the guy from that '70s show, and
What guy?
Walter Goggins, and he's awesome, and they're all on it, and then they realize like, oh no, we're practice. Like, what is happening right now? And then, like, Adrian Brody, I think, gets off the planet, but somebody else stays. I don't know, it's all crazy. But I don't know why they didn't continue with that. And then they did the new one, which I didn't despise, because what do you expect from a Predator movie? I expect just, like, awesome kills and fun and over the top, even though I do think the first one did have something to say about, like, PTSD and everything, but it was Arnold and Carl Weathers going crazy and shooting up the fucking rainforest, and it's sweet. So that's all I want out of my Predators. But I don't know why they didn't continue with that. And I don't know if they are doing any more. I'm sure they will do more Predators, but to my knowledge, I don't know what they're
Oh, they'll do
doing
Predator
now.
forever.
But I would like to see it. I didn't like Prometheus.
What?
I know.
I liked
I think
Prometheus.
it was gorgeous, and I think it was great, but I think you made your scientists idiots. Like, I'm pretty sure no scientist or biologist would be like, hey, moving thing, I'm gonna pick you up in a...
Yeah,
place,
that's true. I mean...
But other than that, like, I thought Alien Covenant was fine. I didn't hate it or anything, but I'm also not a huge Alien person. Like, I like Alien, but Elaine loves Alien.
But you love Predator.
I love the Predator. I do love the Predator. But I was just talking about this. It was because, as a kid, I thought that was Knuckles. That's a true story.
Like from Sonic?
Like, from Sonic. Like, I remember... Knuckles was my favorite
You guys
character.
remember Sonic, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sega?
People
yeah.
don't remember Sonic, then what are you doing here? But anyway, I'm sorry, but seriously.
You might be too young for this channel.
For real. But I remember Knuckles was my favorite. So when I saw Predator, I was like, on TV or something with my mom, I was like, this is a big version of Knuckles. And I quickly realized it was not a big version of Knuckles. But I thought it was Knuckles.
Okay, I will
So
share...
I thought it was cool.
I will share an embarrassing thing that's similar to that. So, SpongeBob SquarePants came out in, I think, the year 2000.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
New Year's Eve 2000.
Oh, yeah.
So I was, what, 7?
Yeah, something like that.
And I thought he was a block of cheese. You know, he's yellow.
No, wait.
He's got holes.
If it was New Year's Eve, you still would have been 6,
But his name,
right?
what? I don't
90,
know.
90, but still,
Yeah,
no, but
6,
that-
whatever.
But still,
I think it was
funny.
2000. I might
That
be
is
wrong.
funny.
But yeah, you know,
My one-
even though his name is SpongeBob, I thought he was a block of cheese.
I totally
And my mom
forgot.
had to explain it to me. She's like, that's not cheese. He's supposed to be a sponge. His name's SpongeBob.
I totally forgot that came out on New Year's Eve. Do you want to know what else came out on New Year's Eve and it was a big deal? And you'll remember this?
What?
Chappelle's Show.
Really? That was on their New Year's Eve?
Do you remember going to Xander's?
God, how long was that show on
Only
for?
2 seasons.
That's it?
That's it. And then,
Wait, no, there was something else, though.
No, that was when they tried make it, he got into it with the network. There's only 2 seasons.
Oh.
Yeah, only those 2 DVD sets, and everybody out there knows what I'm talking about. Xander had them, everybody had them. I think it still is. If I'm wrong, tell me. I think it's the top DVD sale of all time.
I can't believe that.
Positive. I'm like
Chappelle's Show was crazy.
or it
like,
was very, very
I don't know
long
how
time.
that was on cable. It was
It's
on Comedy
great.
Central.
Even watching it now, like
How did they get away with that?
because Dave Chappelle was smart and I think that his comedy works. It does even today.
Well,
it works.
then also, like, how do you get away with
Because-
some of
but
the
he also-
crap
but he
South
also-
Park did?
But he
and-
also makes fun of everyone.
yeah.
Like he didn't stick to just like being. I think.
Yeah, but he would walk around with, like, cocaine all over his face.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, but why were we?
I mean, it probably
watching-
wasn't
now
real
that I'm
cocaine. It
thinking
could have
about
been
it,
real
like,
cocaine.
How old
Dave
were we?
Chappelle, was that real cocaine? Or was it just, like, baby powder?
How old?
I need
we
to
were
know.
in like middle school.
Oh, we were
watching it.
young.
We were like going over Xander's and watching those DVDs. Like, and his mom like openly knew it. Like, bought them for us. Like,
Yeah, his
for
mom
him.
gave
Like,
us
my
9
mom-
Inch Nails CDs
His mom, like, or my mom.
Nine
let
Inch
us watch
Nails.
it on-
to children. Come on, Jill. We know you have a Jeep, but you can't be that cool of a mom.
But we also had like at least we had. Oh no, he had an older sibling. I was gonna say we had
Yeah.
older siblings. So that.
No, he
that's
had
how
one.
we listened
He had
to
one,
stuff,
yeah.
Like, oh my god, that is so funny. But yeah, no. And then I was trying to think like, cause like you like Harry Potter, but that's like not like your jam. You're like.
Oh, I love
you're
Harry
like-
Potter, yeah. I'm just
Oh,
not
yeah.
super knowledgeable
Did you
about
ever
it.
read them?
I read the first
You really like them.
I read the first 3 when I was like a kid, when I was
I think
young.
I've said this on here. I never finished the series until I was an adult. I only got to 5, and then
Yeah,
hanging out with you
I
guys
got
in the
to
garage
3.
was cooler to me. So I was like, "Fuck this! What am I doing?" And then I remember I was at work, and Omari was like, "I think he becomes a cop or something." And I was like, "Bullshit!" Harry becomes a cop, and he's like, "No, he becomes a wizard and cop, meaning like an auror." And I was like, "Bullshit!" I was like, "I need to finish the series then." So then I listened to it at work, and then I reread them at my cabin, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And even as an adult. Or not even as an adult. As an adult, you get something so different out of it.
Yeah.
And it's really
Yeah.
good. And I highly recommend reading the series if you like it. I really do. It's great. But no, yeah, like I said, I just appreciate having you to talk to because you like things like Westworld and...
Okay, what about another new movie that came out that's been a series for a long time? New Terminator. Did you see that one?
I did not.
Oh, you gotta see it. I highly recommend it.
Really?
Let us know what you think.
I love the second one. I think the second one might be one of my favorite movies of all time.
And I love the actress that's in it too. She was in a great show on Netflix called *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Sarah Connor?
Well, she's the girl from Terminator. But no, I'm talking about the new Terminator. There's this girl in it. She's an actress. Sarah Connor's in it too, but she's like older in the film.
It's not Florence Pugh. No,
I don't know her name. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Florence Pugh's the woman in the new Black Widow, but she is an amazing actress and director, and is one of my favorite people in the world right now. And I don't know why I just thought her.
Oh, I have not seen the Black Widow movie, so no spoilers.
Okay, sounds good. There's not much to spoil, but I will not.
I'm sure it's great.
I think the choreography, amazing. All that was really well done. It was really good. I liked it, but here's my qualm with it. They should have had it come out before Endgame. If they would have had it come out before Endgame, we all would have been like, her death meant a lot more.
Yeah, she should have got her own film, honestly, a while ago.
That's just a fact.
She should have got her own film a while ago.
Well, if she would have got her own movie, we all would have went, she can't be the one to go off the cliff.
It would have been more emotional, yeah.
Yeah, and then we all would have been super upset. But then by doing this, it's like, okay, but it's still good. It's fine.
But they could always bring her back. Multiverse.
That's what I mean. We got the multiverse now. Now things are getting fucking crazy. Now things are gonna get nuts. I mean,
I don't see Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans coming back.
Well, it's funny you say that.
I mean, maybe they want to.
Chris Evans just signed something.
Because I assumed that, they wrote that in there because they wanted to be done with the movies, right? Because, they've been doing it for, what, 10 years, more than that?
I think
15
Iron
years?
Man came out in 2008.
Yeah, so it's been a long time. So, that's a long time to work on those projects. So, I thought they kind of were over it, or not over it, but
Tom Hiddleston. I was like, he's
wanted an end.
Yeah. And I just don't, I think that they have such a good rapport with Disney that they could just pop up at any time. But I know Chris Evans just signed something to come back and do something, so I don't know. And I don't think Tony Stark is done either. I don't think we'll get him like we always had him, but I don't think he's done either, for sure.
Well, I know that, I don't want to give away any spoilers for What If.
Oh, yeah, no, I watched the first episode.
Okay, but, Captain America's in it. Well, Steve Rogers is in it before he's Captain America.
Oh, and I liked it.
And that's not Chris Evans' voice.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, okay, because I was thinking it was.
It's not.
If it's not.
It seems very much like his voice, but I read that it's not.
I thought he signed something so that he could do What If.
And that's what I'm saying. He could have signed that because he could be in future episodes, right?
I thought that's why everyone was getting all pumped up for no reason. But if it wasn't him in that episode, then why would it be him in other ones? I don't know.
Well, it could be all about timing and getting all these people together to record and
no, that is true. No, I'm really excited for What If is just. I think it's fun. And Bernard from Westworld is the Watcher.
What?
Yeah,
that's him.
Voice. Oh, I love that actor.
Oh,
and I always
no
forget
way.
His name. I don't know why I can't remember actors' names every time I record. But then when I'm out in the world, I'll be like, yeah.
There's so many of you guys. We can't remember all of you.
Remember. I'm sorry, Bernard.
But I have a hard time remembering my family's name.
Bernard, you're great, and
my cousin who?
And I love that he's voicing the Watcher. He has a very good voice for that.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of that,
he's got like a radio voice. Yeah.
Yes, it's the same as you. But before my stuff dies, I'm gonna say this real quick. Have you watched the new Batman trailers?
I did see one a while ago.
For it, and I don't care what anybody says.
It was like,
Pattinson,
yeah, it was about like the Riddler and leaving notes.
Well,
and
Bernard's in that too.
He looked really dark. Yeah.
Well, Commissioner Gordon is Bernard in that too, and I'm really excited for it. And Colin, whatever, is the Penguin, and I think he looks great. I'm really excited for the new Batman.
It could be fun. It could be sweet.
I'm really, really pumped for the new Batman. But what are you most excited for? I didn't know that. You're the first person I talked to that's watched What If. That's why I haven't talked about it yet.
What am I most excited for about what?
About anything coming up.
Well, I mentioned The Matrix.
Okay, yeah, The Matrix.
Oh, definitely Avatar.
Oh yeah, we got 4 of those coming out. Because James Cameron is living on the water.
For years I just thought I was just waiting on Avatar 2, and then I heard they're coming out 3, 4, and 5 of them.
Yep. We're gonna get 5 of them, and Disney.
What?
Yeah. You gotta go to that. You gotta go check that out.
Yeah, I do have to go.
World. That is sweet. But yeah, this is Jason, and I'm sure he'll be on again because he will be on again. And now that I know how much we have to talk about, I'm excited because they're very I have friends that I know I can only talk to certain things about, like Nicole. I'm sorry, Nicole, I love you. One of Nicole's favorite movies is like Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. So I'm just saying, there's only certain friends I have to talk about certain things with, and I love them all equally, and I like to talk about each of those things. But I'm very excited to have Jason to talk about Interstellar. And
Yeah, I hope you
Westworld
guys
and these
enjoyed all the
things.
bouncing around from
Oh, you
A Scanner
think this- you
Darkly
think this
to
is
Game of
bouncing around?
Thrones
Oh
to
my gosh.
Westworld
Jesus,
and all of
me
it.
and Clay are
Yeah.
on maple syrup for like an hour.
Yeah, I like to watch a lot of different things.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad. And I am going to check out the OA. But yeah, I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. This is Jason. And
Thanks for watching.
thanks for watching. Okay. That was good. Thank you, Jason.